Donald Trump has been instantly checkmated by Xi Jinping and China. This trip by Donald Trump to China may go down in history as the most historic humiliation ritual for the United States ever. Donald Trump's just giving everything away to Xi Jinping, while Donald Trump is there in China giving speeches about Chinese food and Chinese restaurants in the United States. And as Donald Trump keeps on glazing Xi Jinping about how powerful you are, what a great leader you are. And people don't like when I say it, but you must know you're so strong, you're so powerful. Donald Trump's like giving everything up to Xi Jinping right now. Like we just learned that the United States has cleared the way to give China all of these H200 chips, the most advanced semiconductor chips that were highly classified. 10 Chinese firms are about to get these chips, so China gets that. China also drew strong, bright lines around the Taiwan issue. China issued a statement through its foreign ministry spokesperson that Donald Trump basically submitted to, where China writes, President Xi stressed to President Trump that the Taiwan question is the most important issue in China-U.S. relations. If it is handled properly, the bilateral relationship will enjoy overall stability. Otherwise, the two countries will have clashes and even conflicts, putting the entire relationship in great jeopardy. Taiwan independence and cross-strait peace are as irreconcilable as fire and water. Safeguarding peace and stability across the Taiwan Strait is the biggest common denominator between China and the U.S. And what's the U.S. response to that? Nothing. The U.S. just regurgitated and reiterated what China said. Well, here's China's view. And Marco Rubio's like, yeah, we brought up the issue, but what China really wants is this. Well, what does the United States want? What is the United States goal in this other than for Donald Trump to pretend that he's looking strong in China? What's the U.S. getting? What about Jimmy Lai? Everybody talked about, oh, Jimmy Lai, Catholic, pro-democracy activist, we're going to get him out, leading a pro-democracy movement in Hong Kong. He's been locked up by Xi Jinping. Trump promised back in 2024, we're going to bring Jimmy Lai out. If I ever meet Xi Jinping, Lai is coming out, boom, in 24 hours. Just like Donald Trump promised that he would bring peace to Ukraine in 24 hours. Lie after lie. Not only did he not bring up Jimmy Lai, before Donald Trump even took the trip to Beijing, Donald Trump defamed Jimmy Lai and was like, he caused a lot of bedlam. It's like Comey. It's like James Comey. If James Comey was, someone wanted him out, would I be happy? He's a dirty cop. Let's just go through what happened piece by piece. Oh, by the way, when it comes to Iran, did Donald Trump get China to agree to help open up the Strait of Hormuz? No. Well, Iran agreed to allow a lot more Chinese tankers and cargo ships and those VLCCs out. Like 30 Chinese ships were coming out of the Strait of Hormuz while Donald Trump was meeting with Xi Jinping, not because of anything Donald Trump was doing, but Xi Jinping had coordinated this with Foreign Minister Araghchi last week when Araghchi was in Beijing meeting with Wang Yi, his counterpart. And now you have Foreign Minister Araghchi of Iran at the BRICS meeting in India. Yeah, Donald Trump destroyed our relationship with India. And Foreign Minister Araghchi is coordinating the BRICS nations, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, and others to issue a joint statement condemning the United States' unlawful invasion of Iran. But look, Donald Trump and Eric Trump, who scoops up that money for the Trump organization, they got a photo and Lara Trump's there with Xi Jinping. You got a photo, Donald. What do you think this is, like Disneyland? And after Xi Jinping, basically drew these bright lines that he told Donald Trump, you will not cross these lines. You understand? You do not bring up Taiwan. You do not bring up Jimmy Lai. You do not bring up, you do not threaten me. And what did Donald Trump do? He folded instantly. Donald Trump looked like he was watching, or he saw a ghost. I mean, have you ever seen Donald Trump look like this as well? I mean, he's usually, just ranting and raving like a lunatic. He looked genuinely scared when reporters were asking him, did you speak about Taiwan? What did you talk about? Watch Donald Trump just go, great place, China, great place. Here, play this clip.
For your talk, sir.
It's great.
Did you talk about Taiwan?
Great place. Incredible. China's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, neither wanted to say anything about it.
And then earlier today, when Donald Trump was giving a speech in front of Xi Jinping, he started talking about the Chinese restaurants in the United States. I mean, how embarrassing is this? Play this clip.
母校清华大学。
As allies in World War II, President Franklin Roosevelt's mentions of the brave people of China, that's what they were, drew loud cheers in his speeches in the United States, and everybody loved what he had to say. Just as many Chinese now love basketball and blue jeans, Chinese restaurants in America today outnumber the 5 largest fast food chains in the United States, all combined. That's a pretty big statement.
And then, from, earlier when there was that bilateral meeting that was taking place, Donald Trump was like, "You're a great leader, Xi. You're a great leader." Remember he said this? Here, play this clip.
You're a great leader. I say it to everybody. You're a great leader. Sometimes people don't like me saying it, but I say it anyway because it's true. I only say the truth. And I just want.
So then Donald Trump did an interview with Hannity, and Fox was trying to figure out, okay, well, what was the point of this trip? Clearly, Xi Jinping had a plan. Xi Jinping wanted to make it clear, you don't talk about Taiwan. Taiwan belongs to China. That was Xi Jinping's plan. United States tap out. That was Xi Jinping's plan. Xi Jinping's plan also was, assert China dominance in the world and basically put itself not just on par with the United States, but talk about the Thucydides trap, that China is the rising power, US is the waning power. China had a goal. So Donald, this is what Hannity asked him. Did you discuss China's support for Iran with Xi Jinping? And Donald Trump's like, well, Xi Jinping told me very strongly, very firmly. He told me they're not doing it. So, I trust him. He said strongly, they're not helping Iran. They are. They are helping Iran. It's very clear. Our intelligence community, everybody else's intelligence community. Forget the intelligence communities. Foreign Minister Aragchi was standing next to Wang Yi, the foreign minister of China, last week, and they were talking about it. Their military cooperation, their economic cooperation, their diplomatic cooperation, their multifaceted cooperation. They talked about it last week. China and Iran side by side. But okay, Donald, tell us what you think. Play this clip.
The issue, and you've been asked about it, and you've spoken about it, and that is China's support of Iran. How big a discussion was that today?
We discussed it. When you say support, they're not fighting a war with us or anything.
No.
He said he's not going to give military equipment. That's a big statement. He said that today. That's a big statement. He said that strongly. But at the same time, he said, they buy a lot of their oil there, and they'd like to keep doing that.
Then Donald Trump's like, well, when it comes to the Strait of Hormuz, Xi also told me he would like to see a deal made. He'd like to see a deal. Okay, well, where's the damn deal? Donald Trump just deal, let's talk about a deal. Where are the deals? Where are the deals with terms that are binding? Where do they exist, Donald? It's so pathetic. Oh, deal, they want to do a deal. What did you do? Other than you gave China things, H-200 chips, you gave China the ability to assert dominance over Taiwan. You gave China, what did you get? Anyway, play this clip with Hannity. Let's play it.
President Xi would like to see a deal made. He would like to see a deal made. And he did offer, he said, if I can be of any help at all, I would like to be of help. Because,
he did say that.
Yeah, he did say that. And look, anybody that buys that much oil has obviously got some kind of a relationship with him. But he said, I would love to be a help. If I could be of any help whatsoever, he'd like to see the Hormuz Strait open. He said, if I could be of any help whatsoever, I would like to help.
By the way, even some MAGA Republicans are like, not really sure we should believe that guy, Xi Jinping. Not really sure what we're doing. But, they're still MAGA sycophants. They're still Trump bootlickers. Could you imagine if a Democratic president just did in China what Donald Trump just did in China? So you'll have MAGA Republican senators like Rick Scott. Rick Scott posts, communist China has never lived up to one contract they've signed. They lie, cheat, and steal. And they arrested my friend Jimmy Lai because he fought for democracy. They can't be trusted. Donald Trump's out there saying, Xi Jinping told me. Xi Jinping told me. Take a listen to what MAGA Republican Senator Rick Scott said. Let's play it.
I don't think China is going to change. They're going to continue to send fentanyl to kill our kids. They're going to continue to spy on us. They're going to continue to lie, cheat, and steal our jobs. They're going to continue to sell us, crappy stuff like drugs that are unsafe. They're going to continue to take organs from their citizens. They're going to continue to put people in prison like my friend Jimmy Lai from Hong Kong. So they're not going to change. Now, look, I'm very appreciative that President Trump is busting his butt. And I have I think President Trump has high expectations. China has never lived up to one contract they've ever signed. The WTO, the last trade deal, name something they've lived up to. So it's tough. Trump's trying his best, but do I believe she will do anything other than lie, cheat, and steal? I don't.
And here's what MAGA Republican Senator Lindsey Graham said. Play this clip.
Keeping their war machine going. Same thing with Russia. If China stopped buying Iranian oil or threatened to do it, the war in Iran would be over. All I'm asking China to do is help us open up the Strait of Hormuz, help us stop Iran from getting a nuclear weapon, because I think they would use it, help us end the bloodbath in Russia, Ukraine, that is hurting the world economy. If you help us, I will be very grateful. If you don't help us and you continue to prop up these regimes, I will do business with you on Monday and put tariffs on you on Tuesday. And the only thing China understands is what I just said. Xi is not a crazy man. He's not irrational. If he believed President Trump would crush his economy, the Chinese economy, for propping up Putin and Iran, I think he would change his behavior.
Here's how one person described the contrast here. The funniest contrast is the tone. Xi Jinping was talking about bilateral relations, global turbulence, cooperation, confrontation, the future of humanity. Donald Trump was basically saying, it's an honor to be your friend. You are a great leader. I only say the truth. The children were beautiful. One was conducting diplomacy. The other sounded like he finally got a private dinner with his political crush. So what is Marco Rubio, Secretary of State, saying about the Taiwan issue, about Xi Jinping's assertion that you stay away from Taiwan? What do you say, Rubio? Rubio just regurgitates what Xi Jinping said. Play this clip.
To the other topics. We know where they stand, and I think they know where we stand.
Do you think China wants to invade Taiwan?
Well, I think China's preference is probably to have Taiwan willingly, voluntarily join them. In a perfect world, what they would want is some vote or a referendum in Taiwan that agrees to fold in. I think that's what they would prefer. Ultimately, it's featured prominently in President Xi's mandate in the time he's been in office. He's made clear that what they call reunification, that's what they call it, is something that has to happen at some point. We think it would be a terrible mistake to force that through force or anything of that nature. There would be repercussions for that globally, not just from the United States. And we kind of leave it there. That sort of ambiguity is what I think has defined the way we characterize this issue. And the reason being strategic ambiguities. We don't want to see conflict. We don't want to see something disruptive happen, because I think it would be very disruptive for the world and for both countries.
Same thing with Scott Bessent, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. You see how weak they are right here. And Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, I'm confident Donald Trump will figure this one out. Here, play this clip.
Sure, Joe. It wouldn't be a U.S.-China summit without the Taiwan issue coming up. And I'm confident that President Trump understands the issues around that and is very, very resolute in his answers. And I'm sure we'll be hearing more from him in the coming days on that.
And as I noted before, back in 2024, when Donald Trump was saying, 24 hours, the war in Ukraine would be over if I'm in office. 24 hours, there would be no inflation. 24 hours, I will bring down oil prices 50% and gas prices 50%, electricity prices will all go down 50%. 24 hours, I will make grocery prices cheap. Like lie. But one of the things that Trump said is, and this is what our editor-in-chief Ron Filipkowski says, did Trump press Xi Jinping to release Jimmy Lai from prison like he promised during the campaign on the UU at radio show in 2024 when he said it would be easy for him to get Lai released if elected because of his great relationship with Xi? Any updates on that? I'll show you right here what we just made on the MeidasTouch network, a video showing the contrast between what Trump said in 2024 and what Trump said right before he went to China. Play this clip.
There's a guy named Jimmy Lai who's very important to America's Catholics, to the world's Catholic. He's a Catholic in Hong Kong, and he's, a great publisher, a billionaire like you. Xi has him in jail. Do you think you could speak to Xi when you're back in the presidency about getting Jimmy Lai out and out of the country?
100% yes.
Now, Jimmy Lai, he caused a lot of bedlam. I don't know. It's like saying to me, if Comey ever went to jail, would you let him out? It might be a hard one for me. Does that make sense? It might be a hard one, because he's a dirty cop. But Jimmy Lai isn't that way. But Jimmy Lai, he caused lots of turmoil for China. He tried to do the right thing. He wasn't successful, went to jail, and people would like him out, and I'd like to see him get out too. So I'll bring him up again. I have brought him up.
And as I noted, Iran's foreign minister Araghchi was in India for the BRICS nations meeting that was taking place. Foreign ministers were all there from the various BRICS nations. And here's what he had to say about U.S. bullying. Play this clip.
Actually, everyone in this room, our resistance against U.S. bullying is not an unfamiliar battle. So many of us encounter slight variations of the same repugnant coercion. It is high time for us to jointly step up and work towards making clear that those practices belong in the dustbin of history. Today, our nations are closer to one another than ever before, and we cannot ignore the common and dangerous challenge we all face. History has shown that empires in decline will stop at nothing to arrest their inevitable fates. A wounded animal will desperately claw and roar on its way down.
More from Iran's foreign minister Araghchi at this meeting that was taking place. So at the same time, Donald Trump's talking about Chinese food in China. You have foreign minister Araghchi talking about these crimes, the Western silence. We need to come out with a statement against explicitly condemning the violations of international law. Here, play this clip.
These crimes and the Western silence they are met with can only take place if there is a sense of impunity. That false sense of entitlement must be shattered by all of us. Iran, therefore, calls upon BRICS member states and all responsible members of the international community to explicitly condemn violations of international law by the United States and Israel, including their illegal aggression against Iran, a member of BRICS, prevent the politicization of international institutions, and take concrete action to halt warmongering and to bring an end to the impunity of those who violate the UN Charter.
And as I've been talking about earlier, too, one of the things that Donald Trump promised that when he was in office in 24 hours, he would end the war in Ukraine, end Russia's invasion. He says, I got such good relationships with Putin and Zelensky. This would be easy for me. This will be an easy solve, right? That's what Donald Trump said. Well, while Donald Trump was in China, not only do you have the BRICS meeting taking place, right, at the same time with Brazil, Russia, China, India, and South Africa. You have that taking place. Russia launches its biggest drone strike and ballistic missile strike on Ukraine really in the past 4 years. I mean, they launched thousands and thousands of drones. Fortunately, 180 sites were damaged. Fortunately, Ukraine was able to stop about 93% of the drones, but a lot of drones still were able to get through. But we were talking about thousands of drones were launched against Ukraine yesterday. Lots of people killed in Ukraine yesterday. At least 5 reported killed. I've heard that number closer to 11 or so right now, but at least 5 killed. Lots of people injured. It was in Kyiv, Kharkiv, the Odessa region. And so Putin clearly sending a message while Donald Trump's in China by attacking Ukraine and killing all of these civilians. Prime Minister Carney of Canada writes, yesterday, Russia launched one of its largest missile and drone attacks against Ukraine in 4 years. Canada unequivocally condemns these indiscriminate attacks. I offer my most severe condolences to the injured and all those mourning the loss of loved ones. Canada stands in solidarity with Ukraine as it defends against this unacceptable aggression. And in collaboration with our allies, we will continue to maintain pressure on Russia to end this conflict. So that's where we're at right now. Donald Trump said nothing about it. In fact, Donald Trump really hasn't made social media posts. He's posted a video of himself and Xi Jinping together, like a video of his crush, basically. But Donald Trump really hasn't made any posts, doesn't anything, you know. It just, Donald Trump like fully submits to Xi Jinping. It's wild to see. Let me know what you think. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 7 million. Thanks, everybody.
Want to stay plugged in? Become a subscriber to our Substack at MeidasPlus.com. You'll get daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, ad-free episodes of our podcast, and more exclusive content only available at MeidasPlus.com.